All right, this is the beginning of a tutorial using Stop Motion Studio. And we're going to be creating on this project, next one, we're going to be creating one of those videos in the app of Stop Motion Studio. And so that's where we are right now. This is the home screen. And I'm going to get a new screen. And what you're seeing now is, hopefully you're seeing everything in full view like I'm wanting it. And so this is a gray screen that I've created with some cardstock. So let me give you just a little heads up on how this is set up. There is my camera that I'm taking, my phone. I'm taking a video of this tutorial. And it's in a kind of a tripod, but it's a flexible tripod. And it grabs onto the phone and it sits about 12 inches above my iPad. And what you're seeing there is my iPad in Stop Motion Studio. And I've used, like I said, I've used a piece of gray cardstock to give us kind of a neutral background. I didn't want it to compete with my characters. And so I've hit the video. I am videoing all right now, of course, and I'm going to show you how we put this together. But I'm going to introduce you to the character first. This is the character. But let me show you what I've done. I've created the character ×3 because to move him around a lot, to move the character around a lot is going to be a little bit challenging because he is, I'm sorry about the wobble. He is, he's very detailed. He's got a lot of detail in him. So he's going to be here. This is my character. And then I've also created this one, same character. And I've also created this one, same character. And then I've created some eyes that you'll see in a minute what that's going to be used for. So we're going to start now with just the main character before he changes. And we'll notice he's got some different looks about him. He has a, his hair is kind of laying to the side a little bit. And he's got kind of a frowny face. And he's kind of just neutral right now. So he's sitting here, or standing here, and he notices, well, we're going to take a picture of him first. That's the process. We're going to take a picture. And you're seeing a little bit of a cut down of the screen. Let me see if I can move it just a bit so you can see him a little bit better. All right, so we're going to take a picture. Now I'm taking a picture in stop motion of our character. Let me take another one. And then I'm going to add a conversation bubble here in just a second. There, we have this is a conversation little bubble, something he's saying. But actually, I think what I'll do first is I'm going to show you another alteration I made. I didn't want to have to remove his eyes, so I gave him new eyes. So let's take a couple of pictures of that. And then he's surprised at something because he heard a strange noise. So let me put these into where you can see them. And he said, "What was that?" Because there is a strange noise coming from the right side of the screen. And so he's a little bit frightened, but I'm going to take another picture and another picture. And so he's a little bit nervous. Now notice I'm not taking pictures right now. And so it doesn't matter if my hands are on the screen. So he's heard that noise. He's a little bit frightened. And so he turns toward the noise. And the noise, now what you're going to see here is there's something coming in on the other side of the screen that's causing that noise. Something coming out of there is causing that noise. And so he's walking toward it. So let's take a couple of pictures of him, and we'll move him a little bit more toward the object. He's curious. And so now we're going to move the object a little bit closer to him and tip it just a little bit. You're going to get kind of an idea of what this might be. And then, let's take another picture here. Let's move the bag again just a little bit more, like this. Move him just a little bit closer because he's super curious. A little afraid, but super curious. So now what we're going to do is that bag is going to speak to him. So I'm going to move things down just a little bit, and I'm going to use a pen this time. And I'm going to write here. We're going to move this over. We're going to take a picture. He's backed off a little bit. But he's still pretty close to the bag, or close to the object. We don't know it's a bag yet. And so we're going to take a picture of this. I'm going to take a couple of them. And then we're going to write again, come inside, exclamation point. All right, so now we're going to move this over here. And he's really curious now. And he's walking over to the bag. So I'm going to even look at the top here. Incrementally move it. Okay. Now his head starts descending into the bag. Now I'm moving the cardstock now. That kind of is a handy thing, moving the background. Oh, he's falling into the bag. It's super fun putting these together once you figure out how to do it. So there he goes into the bag. Now we only have his feet sticking out. Let me fix this. Where it's just his feet are sticking out now. And then I'm going to have the bag move a little bit. It's hard to remember sometimes. Every time you take a picture, you got to be sure your hand is not in there. And now we're going to put him in the bag completely. I'm going to take a couple pictures here. Now what we're going to do is use the last character, and we're going to put him in the bag. I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to put him in the bag where you can't see anything. We're just going to have the bag there for a second. We just have a little bit out the top right here. I'm going to put the bag over here toward the center. He's going to be inside here. And each frame, we're going to move him up just a little bit more. Still kind of mysterious because we don't know exactly what it is yet that is happening. Now we see his eyes. Oops, we want to get rid of that. Bring him up a little more. There he goes. And a little more. Let's bring him up kind of like this now. Get away from those letters that we put on there. And it might, I wanted to change something up there a little bit. I wanted to have it to where the bag was where the letters were different, that we didn't always use conversation bubbles. So here we're going to have him coming out of here. I think this time we're going to have him kind of fall out of the bag. All right, so he's come out of the bag, and then we send our message that says Merry Christmas. And then I've thought about, I tried to put in a little bit of, little more of a, see if we can make it just a little smaller. Can't really without messing up your view. But I also have a Christmas present here that I thought maybe that would be kind of cool to have a little tiny Christmas present here in addition. Or maybe, here's a smaller one. Maybe that would work better. That's a little bit better visual. And so we'll take a picture of that, another picture. And now we have 43 different frames. You can see at the bottom there, maybe you can't, there you go. You can see there. At the bottom it says 43 out of 43 is the last one. So let's go here to the beginning. At the very beginning, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to take the number of frames per second down as far as we can so we can slow it down. And then we're going to add a title and credit. Oops, wrong one. We're going to add a title and credits. And the one that I'm thinking here that might work well might be this one. We need something kind of Christmassy, don't we? So let's try this one right here. And let's hit on this. And once we hit on that, we get the keyboard. So let's say, let's call it A. Oops. I don't think you can see that in yours. Let me put it up here. Okay, A, return Christmas, a Christmas surprise. Now when we click done, whoops, sorry. I should have clicked done and I didn't, so we learn together. Okay, so when we click done, then we have our sort of, it's not the way I would do it. Let's fix this a little bit. Center it like that. And I don't think we can get rid of that stop motion promo on that, but that's great. Yeah, that looks fine. So let's now let's go back and look at our film. So let's play it. There he goes, he sees the bag, it says come inside. So he's going inside the bag. And the bag is moving around. And then he comes out. Only this time he stands in front of the bag and he's got a present there and there's a message that says Merry Christmas. So that is our tutorial for stop motion video. Now I will can have both. I both have a recording of the stop motion without my hand, I'm hoping. And then I also have this recording that I'm going to be giving to you as a tutorial. So let's look back again and just make sure you'll have to go back through and see, is there anything that I need to take out of here? Is there a hand? You have to go back through and say, okay, did I accidentally photograph my hand? I think there was a place in here where that lettering started showing, but I'm not seeing it. You can actually look through the, let me put it down here again. You can actually scroll through and look and see, okay, do I need to get rid of something here? And I'm not seeing my hand, and I'm also not seeing that lettering. Yeah, I do, right here. I see the lettering right there. Right there, right there. So I'm gonna delete that. We don't need that. So that should have gotten rid of that. So let's play it back again. Oops, it took it from that slide. Let's take it to the end. Let's go all the way back. And then let's click play. What was this? So he falls out of the bag, comes in front of the bag, and then there's a present in the Christmas message. So let's add, maybe we could even add something on the end. Let's add credits on the end. Oops, let's make sure we're at the end. Okay, let's add credits. I'm not seeing a particular, let's just use this one. We'll use this again. And this would be N A O E U student production. And then we'll do it again by Marty Lane. Space. Make it smaller. Not quite sure how to get rid of that. I don't think they want me to get rid of it. So let's just put this over here like that. Okay, now let's go back and let's look at this again. Let's play it. A Christmas Surprise, a stop motion studio film. All right, he's in the bag, and he's going to come out, and he's got a hat on now. He's a little calmer, he's a little happier, turning somersaults, and there's a present. It's an AOU student production, AOEU student production by Marty Lane. Okay, that was fun. All right, if you have any questions, you can email me. Otherwise, your assignment will be in the next section that will be following this video.